Hey y'all, cooking, cutting up, keeping it real. Merry Christmas from my kitchen to yours. Today in my kitchen I'm making red velvet cake. I make this once a year, so I'm gonna be cheating and looking at my recipe. I'm gonna pull my sleeves up just a little bit here. We're gonna get started with it. What I'm gonna do first is sift the dry ingredients. 2.5 cups of flour. The original recipe calls for cake flour. I don't have cake flour, and I'm determined not to go back to the grocery store until I absolutely have to. So I'm gonna use regular all-purpose flour, 2.5 cups. And I'm gonna sift that. There's a half, and then 2 cups. What's that recipe that you make every single year? Like, no matter what, you make it at Christmas time? I'd love to know. There's one. And here's 2. Okay, let me set that to the side. I have already prepared my round, I think they're 8-inch, they may be 9-inch, I'm not entirely sure, but I have prepared my pans by spraying them with Pam or cooking spray and then putting flour in them and shaking the flour around, then dumping the excess off so they're ready to go. And my oven is at 325, and they'll bake for 20 minutes. Anyway, okay, dry ingredients. Cake flour, I need 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Teaspoon and a half of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I've got pink Himalayan in here. I'm gonna just toss that in there. And then I need 1 tablespoon of cocoa. 1 tablespoon of cocoa. Red velvet cake is probably one of my favorite cakes. Like, if I, for my birthday, that's what I want is a red velvet cake. I love them. All right, there's a tablespoon of cocoa. Set that to the side. Move that out of the way. Got that. And got that. I'm gonna make myself some room. Okay, let's sift that and set it aside. My mama used to make red velvet cake, and this is actually her recipe. She made it for Christmas Eve. Growing up, we had lots of family and friends in our house on Christmas Eve, and for years my mama did like an open house, and there were many, many people in and out throughout the night. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side. Now I'm gonna put a tablespoon of vinegar. This original recipe says to make a paste out of it, and I just put the vinegar and the food coloring together and put it in there. Making a paste, I don't make a paste because it's all liquid. I'm gonna use 2 0.3 ounce red food coloring, and I'm gonna put it in this vinegar. There's 1. And there's 2. You know, red food coloring is kind of hard to find this time of year. I had to buy the pack that has all 4 colors in it. So I had 1. I bought the other, so I'm going to use the red out of both of them. That should be plenty food coloring. Okay, now in my mixer, I'm going to cream the butter, or the margarine, calls for 2 sticks of margarine, and the sugar, which is 2 cups. Get this out of the way. And 2 cups of white granulated sugar. Let me pull this over toward me. And I'm gonna let that blend and get creamed together. While that's creaming, I'm gonna crack my eggs. There's 3 of those. Make sure I don't get any shells in there. So they'll be ready to go. One more time. I'm going to add my eggs slowly and get them mixed in good. Scrape that down again, get that sugar and that margarine mixed in good with the eggs. Last one. We'll scrape it down again. There we go. Now I'm going to add in my 1 tablespoon of vinegar and my food coloring. Scrape all of it in there. I have 1 cup of buttermilk that I've measured up. I'm going to go ahead and put my vanilla extract in, which is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I'm going to alternate the dry ingredients that I've sifted with the buttermilk. And get that mixed in. Let's start with dry. A little bit of buttermilk. And we'll scrape down the sides again. Get that flour down into the cake batter. Alternate with the buttermilk. Scrape it down again. Give it a mix. The rest of the dry ingredients and the rest of the buttermilk going in. Scrape the sides down again, get everything incorporated really well. Okay. Now, all right. Never fear, I'm going to read the recipe back just to make sure we've got everything in here that we're supposed to have. Because nothing's worse than missing an ingredient and then you have it in the oven and then you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot this or that. So, the recipe is 2 sticks of margarine softened, 2 cups of white granulated sugar, 3 eggs, 2 ounces of red food coloring, which I did not have 2 ounces, so I used what I had. 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, 2.5 cups of cake flour, 1.5 teaspoons of soda, and remember I used all-purpose flour because I didn't have cake flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of cocoa, 1 cup buttermilk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And the directions say cream the sugar and the butter, add your eggs, make a paste out of the food coloring and the vinegar, which if it's liquid, it's not going to be a paste, and add to the creamed mixture. Stir together dry ingredients and add them, sift together dry ingredients and add them to the mixture, alternating with buttermilk. Add vanilla and blend thoroughly. Pour into 3, this says 10-inch pans, bake at 325 for about 20 minutes, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in my pans. We've made sure we've got all the ingredients. Let me make us a spot here. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try to divide this as evenly as possible into these 3 pans. That looks about like a third. There's another. And lastly, and you can tell that mine is not going to be that blood red because I didn't have any more of the red food coloring. Mine's going to be a light red, which is fine. It still looks Christmassy. and it's still going to taste really good. It smells wonderful. And I'm going to put these in the oven and bake them for 20 minutes. I'm going to take them out, let them cool completely, and I'm going to dump mine on a piece of wax paper. And then I'll be back with you guys to show you how I'm going to ice my red velvet cake. Into the oven, I'm going to make this even. There we go. Okay, into the oven they go. Red velvet cake. "20 minutes on 325. I'll be back to show you the icing when they get cool. Hey y'all, cakes are out and have cooled completely, and I am ready to put together my icing. And I like to use cream cheese icing on my red velvet cakes. I'm a cream cheese icing girl for sure. You're gonna need 1 stick or 8 tablespoons, half a cup of real butter at room temperature for this icing. 1 8-ounce cream cheese at room temperature. This is gonna be good. And if you have the Granny's Farm to Table cookbook, it's on page 90 of the cookbook, the cream cheese icing recipe. All right, into the mixer. Oh, and I got some stuck in here. Let me get that out. There we go. Okay. Got that done. Now, what I'm going to do is add 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, and I'm going to eyeball mine. You can measure it. You can use vanilla extract. That's up to you. I love a vanilla bean paste. I think it tastes like vanilla. It's more concentrated taste of vanilla with the vanilla beans in it. And I get mine on Amazon. And I'm going to add 3 cups of white powdered sugar. I don't know why I said white. Powdered sugar's white anyway, but powdered sugar nonetheless. I'm going to start with one and give it a little mix here. Let that get incorporated. I'm going to add cup number 2, and we're going to use a total of 3 cups of powdered sugar. Whoop. Push this down so I won't have powdered sugar everywhere. Okay, last cup for 3 total of powdered sugar for the cream cheese icing. Just a little bit. And let that get mixed up. Now the recipe calls for a tablespoon of milk. I'm gonna eyeball mine. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. You can always add more if need be for the consistency. That tablespoon looks to be about right. Let me just give it another spin. Okay. All right. Blend it till it's nice and smooth. And I'm going to give it a little taste here. Delicious. My washing machine is having a hissy fit in there, it sounds like. Yep. Okay. And I'll be right back to ice it. Okay, now to ice this, I had a little catastrophe in the mixing up the segment of this video, and I had taken my pizza stone out of my oven so I could use both ovens because I have two ovens, and that sucker was on top of the washing machine and it fell and broke, so I apologize for that. That's the keeping it real side of this vlog. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this cream cheese icing onto the first layer of the cake. And I'm gonna use a glass of water, just a literally glass of water, to help spread this evenly because I want it kind of thin on the in between the layers. So that I have enough icing to go over the whole cake, hopefully. If I don't, I'll have to make another batch. Okay. Second layer. Let's see if I can get it without tearing it. Okay, let me grab some toothpicks. And give my hands a little zhuzh. A little wash. I'm going to put just 2 toothpicks for now to hold my layers together. And then for the second layer, I'm going to put that icing on. I love cream cheese icing. I could just eat it right out of the bowl. Dip it in my water. Spread it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, last layer. Let me grab it. I had dumped them out of my pan and put it on wax paper. There's my last layer. Let me get it washed off so I can keep my hands clean. Okay. I'm gonna put a couple of toothpicks in this one to hold it steady. That should do it. Okay, and we are going to finish icing this cake for Christmas Eve. remember that I did not use as much food coloring as the recipe called for. I had trouble finding red food coloring, so I bought 2 of those boxes that have the 4 in it. And so this is going to be a light red color, red velvet cake, but you can use the whole 1 ounce if you choose. And I'm gonna get that on, give it a wipe, give it some water, and spread that cream cheese icing. Yes, I'm doing laundry too. That chore is never done. Even if I feel like I get caught up one day, there's still something. And I had to change aprons because I spilt some of the red velvet cake batter on my white apron. So that, anyway, it's never done. Just when you think it is, something else gets dirty, right? Okay. This is looking good. And I think I'm gonna have enough icing. Just a good thing. Okay. Got a little bit more in here. Look at my finger. That's the keeping it real side of this vlog too. Okay. Turn this around. Get every side covered. And you can choose to garnish this with shaved white chocolate. You could do peppermint and white chocolate, you know, crunch it up. You could do pecans, if you wish. I'm gonna leave mine just as it is this year and enjoy it this way. I'm gonna get every little bit of this that I can. This cream cheese icing. Got a little bald spot right there. There we go. And that, my friends, is going to be red velvet cake for Christmas 2023. And I'll be putting this in the refrigerator. You need to keep it refrigerated because of the icing on it, of course. But yeah, that's how I do my red velvet cake, y'all. And I'll have to wipe that side up a little bit. Maybe I'll just do it with my finger and lick it. Merry Christmas. Give this one a try. It's definitely worth it. Bye now.